Hi guys, Mark Gellard here for Tennis One, and thanks very much for taking the time to watch this video. Today I'd like to come to you from the beautiful Pereira, Colombia. I'm here for two $10,000 ITF events with my players, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about that can change or possibly is changing tennis already, and that's court positioning. Now I know that you've heard about this before from your coach or from other practice partners that you may have, but one thing that's really becoming significantly important now in tennis is the serve and return. And first of all, I want to give you just a moment here to watch this video that you're about to see of Harold Solomon, a great former player, and Bjorn Borg, obviously a fantastic player, one of the best of all time, and take a look at where they're standing from, or where they're standing when they're returning serve. And then what I'm going to show you is a couple of the more modern players, Nadal, Djokovic or Murray, and take a look at where they're returning from and see if you can see any differences.
Okay, so now you can see Harold Solomon about to return Bjorn Borg's serve, and take a look how far inside the baseline he is and also how far to the centre of the court he is. That's very unusual now with the advent of better kick serves and more powerful players. Okay, now we're going to see a contrast with the more modern day player Rafael Nadal. Look how now he's much more over to the alley to his left, and he's much further behind the baseline so that he has more time to return his more powerful serves. And again here from the Delray Beach ITC tournament, we have Tim Smyczek returning here, and again, take a look, he's moved over to the left, a long way away from Harold Solomon, and he's really a lot further back.
Okay, though it may seem now that this video is about where you're standing from for your returns, it's actually not. That was the first thing I wanted to show you how things have changed over time due to the better equipment, more athletic and powerful hitting, with the court positioning on the return of serve. Now, this has already been talked about by many other coaches in previous videos. Today I want to propose something to you and illustrate this to you, some area that I don't think has been fully utilized by players or coaches, and that's now the court positioning on your serve. And take a look now at the video of Borg and Solomon where they were standing back 20 years, 25 years ago. And then again, I'm going to compare this to the more modern players, the Murrays, the Federers, the Nadals. Take a look at where they're standing now on these two videos.
Okay, so here we have Bjorn Borg walking up to the line here to serve. What I want you to pay attention to is how close he's standing to the center tee on the baseline. And what you're going to notice is it's very, very close to the middle of the court. Now, when we watch from the other end now, you'll get a better view here with Harold Solomon serving from the ad court now, the side of the court that's very interesting to me, and he's standing very, very close to that center tee. Now, what I'm going to do is compare to you now with Andy Roddick, obviously one of the best servers of all time. Look again at how close in the ad court he is standing to the center tee. And remember when I showed you the returning positions of of Solomon and Borg versus the new players, there was a huge difference. But the serving, as I've already mentioned, hasn't changed much.
Okay, so now you've seen those two videos. Please be patient, I will explain further. This year at Wimbledon I was fortunate enough to be there with Melinda Zink, and while I was there I spent some time watching a lot of the men playing, and one of the guys that really caught my eye was Janko Tipsarevic. He is obviously a great player, but this year has really been a breakthrough for him because he's become a top 10 player, and now he's becoming a threat every single tournament. And again this year at the US Open he's certainly a threat to the best players. And one thing that he is doing that no other player I have seen is doing on a consistent basis is changing where he's standing on the serve. And what I mean by this is the biggest two shots in men's tennis and also in women's are the serve and the forehand, and the return is also in there. But the two key shots, serve and forehand. Now what players have started to do, or I shouldn't say players, I should say Tipsarevic has started to do, that got me thinking, is where they're standing on the serve. In the deuce court, for a right-handed player, they're standing very close to the tee. That's meaning that their favourite serve will obviously be the down the tee serve, but what it's also allowing them to do is cover the court as much as they can, cover up their backhand side or the left side of the court. However, when they are standing in the ad court, Tipsarevic is standing there like he's playing doubles, and what this is doing is opening up the angle on the serve, and also it's reducing the amount of court that he has to cover with his backhand side or the weaker shot. And that was very obvious to me when I watched him play at Wimbledon this year. I got to watch him play against Ryan Sweeting, and it was amazing to me the difference and contrast between him and all the other players. So take a look at this video and try to notice how wide he's standing in the in the ad court, and what this is doing is really covering up his backhand and opening his forehand up. And then on the deuce side, he's standing very close to the tee, which again is going to give him minimum possible area to cover on the backhand side of the court, and also it opens the tee serve and his kick serve down the tee as well. Take a look at the video now and see if you can notice that.
Okay, so now we can see Janko Tipsarevic here, a top 10 player, serving from the deuce side of the court. And what I want you to pay attention to is that he's very close to the center mark, just as Borg and Solomon were in the video I previously showed you. Now I want you to switch your attention over. Now I'm going to show you the ad side. Look how far over he is towards the alleys. He looks as though he could be playing doubles here. Now the great advantage is, as I've already mentioned, with standing in this position is two things. One, it opens up the angle on your serve, but two, look how much of the court on the right side of him he has open to hit his forehand. And here he will actually end up hitting a backhand, and he only has to take one step, as you can see there, and he has covered his backhand completely with one step and leaving the rest of the court open for his stronger side, which is his forehand. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going out on a limb a little bit here with this video today, and I'm showing you the angle that Borg and Solomon would be seeing from where they were standing in the court, where probably most recreational players do. Now as I move over, look how the dimensions and the angles and width of the court changes just by moving over 2 or 3 steps. Now, as we switch to the ad side, this again is where most of you will stand for your serve, and they did 25, 30 years ago. Now watch as I move over to the left side where Tipsarevic is now serving from. Look how the angles and the dimensions of the court change completely, and a whole new area of tennis can be explored.
When I began planning this video, the more I researched, I thought I would expect to find a lot of articles or videos about this particular subject on where you're standing with the serve, because as you already saw, from the return point of view, things have changed drastically over the years, from where players used to be able to stand so far in the court to return the serve because it was so much slower. Now with the advent of better equipment, more stronger and better athletes, players have had to move backwards in order to accommodate the extra power. But one of the things that really hasn't changed that much is where players are standing for the serve itself. And that is something that I was really surprised, as I said, when I researched this video and I started to put it together. I thought that there would be a lot of information about it. There's already been coaches that have explored this, and I was very surprised that there hasn't been. So it just seems very strange to me that as all the other areas of the game has developed in terms of where you would stand using the length, the width of the court, angles, all this kind of stuff, that nothing has really been talked about with where to stand on the serve. So this is something that I think is very unique and really can add a whole new dimension to your game if you go out there and just practice it and learn how to use it more effectively. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch this video today, and please feel free to email me using the email shown at the bottom of the screen here, and I hopefully will have a good week here in the beautiful Pereira, Colombia with my 2 Kazakhstan tennis players, and keep checking back to Tennis One for more great videos and information. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Mark Geller.